With Flet 1.0 beta out, I'm going to be exploring some tutorials on how to use Flet, make some fun games, and we can learn more about Python and Flet. So I'm going to first init a new project with UV. I'm going to use Python 3.13. I'm going to call it Flet animation tutorial. I'm going to change directory into the new folder I just created. I'm going to add Flet UV add quote let all okay. Now if we look at the pyproject.toml, I've installed Flet 0.80, which is 1.0 beta. Open up the folder in a project. I'm going to create a new folder in the project called view. I'm using a model view control system. In the view folder, I'm going to create a file called game.py. And in the game.py, I'm importing Flet, import Flet as FT. I'll create a component, the @FT component. I'm going to create a function called gameView for the component, and we will return maybe something pretty simple, ft.text. My game, this is just a test. Going back to main.py here, at the top of it, I'll import Flet, import Flet as FT. I'll import view.game. We just created the file. Maybe we'll just import that one. So from view.game, import the one method that we just created function. The main.py will have to receive the page that we will be dealing with, which is of type FT page. The page.render, and it will be the game view that we just imported. So now we can use ft.run and run main. Do control backslash backtick, opened it. It's using the correct virtual environment. So which Python, it should be in the local environment of the project that I'm working with. So now I should be able to run flet main.py. And it's working great. I'm going to set the page width a little bit more narrow. So I'll go page.window width equals, I'll set it to 820. Okay, in the game view here, instead of the just a normal FT text here, let's do something a little bit more interesting. We're going to use a stack. The stack will allow us to both place the character per pixel, as well as to layer different elements. So we'll have the stack, and stack has controls, and there'll be a list of things that we put in here. I'm going to create another folder here called assets. And in assets, I'm going to drop a 800 by 600 pixel background image. So in assets, there's a JPEG here, which is 800 by 600 pixels. We're going to add this into the game. ft dot image. And we'll just put the name of the background image file in here, background.jpg. Beautiful. In the previous video, I have a sprite sheet that consists of different views of the character and so each image is 80 by 120 pixels. So we have down, left, right, and up for the characters. All right, congratulations. You've created a Flet application. Let's review what you've done. You've created a new project in Python using UV. You specified Python 3.13, which if you use 3.14, you might have some warnings in the Flet debugger console right now. So that's why we're using Python 3.13. You've added Flet with UV. It's 1.0 beta, which is the version is 0.80. So this is the new freshest Flet. You're right here on the cutting edge. You've also organized a project, or started to, with the model view control, or also called MVC. It's one of the kind of standard or very common. It's not the only architecture. It's one of the simpler ones. And that's the one we're using for this tutorial. You added the world background image into the view folder. So this MVC is largely a folder hierarchy structure. It also does impact the logic of your game quite a bit when you're developing it. And so we're holding the view components, these graphical components, in the folder called view. And in here, there's a background image, which we're considering the world. There's other world objects that you don't interact with. If you have a Python program in different files, you have to import the files you created and the methods with functions and classes into the main program. And this is what we did using the import for the file that you created into the main file. We also used let component using the decorator at ft.component to create a declarative UI for reactive state. And we also used page.render for this. We're not using page.update. It's a different type of model here that we're using for Flet 1.0, although it does support the older style of the imperative UI. We adjusted the Flet window width to make it a bit more narrow because we are using a specific size of the background image here that's 800 pixels wide. We've started to use the Flet Stack, and the stack can layer different objects. Right now we just have the background. We're going to layer the character on top of that as a sprite. The character's name will be Pepper, and Pepper, she'll move across the screen. We can use the stack as well for pixel positioning. You've done a lot. It's time to celebrate. Let's go out there into the forest and see the world. Have a great day.